Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. There's some interesting things I want to kind of get across to you guys so you can be more informed about what is going on in the market. As we get into the video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop and take a look at what is going on here with Bitcoin. Okay guys, so we're going to start things off just by taking a look at Bitcoin here paired with USDT like I usually do. This is actually the one that I've been drawing on a lot, and this is from Binance, and I really want to kind of just highlight this is the Binance data source, and this is where I start to have a bit of an issue, and I'm going to go through with you guys what I'm seeing here. So the first thing obviously is we have these impulsive moves. We're in wave 4 right now, looking for that last little push to a wave 5 high, and that would actually be 42,200 approximately, and then we should look for some kind of decline from there with big ABC. Okay, so you know, we'd be expecting a pretty nice kind of healthy ABC move, and I reckon this is probably, I mean, it's too soon to really say, but it's going to get us somewhere in this range of you know, about 37.5 to about $38,500, somewhere in that range. Now, there's no guarantee of that. It's just kind of what I would expect based on the Fibonacci retracement zones and where I do expect, you know, the most probable areas of retracement to be. Okay, so that's kind of what we're expecting there. Obviously, we have the bull flag, the pole coming in here, the flag at the top, and obviously, depending on whether you choose to like these kind of patterns here, will obviously make you understand whether or not we are going to be pushing up, or whether you think actually this is just finding resistance, and we are likely to have a correction. Okay, that's entirely up to you whether you choose to believe those patterns or not, but I do think it's interesting to kind of just note that. In order to kind of have that kind of pattern form, we obviously have to see huge volume coming in here to basically create the pole. And then you need to see that that volume just completely diminish, and we've seen that as well. So the grounds here for a bullish flag is there. Okay, we can see that within our volume data, and of course we can see that in terms of the actual flag being printed here on the charts. Now, a lot of other coins are following very, very similar patterns, so you'll see this all over the place, right? And again, you might even see them with some bearish flags in places as well. Okay. Now, obviously, the main reason I want to kind of talk to you guys is not about this impulsive move up, and it's not about the flag. In fact, what I want to talk to you guys about is all to do with invalidation and whether or not we have actually invalidated the $31,000 lows that I had scoped out within my wave counts. And yeah, let me show you something. Okay, so for Binance data here, we are targeting 42,000 and 30 cent. Okay, that's exactly it. Now, obviously, everyone who's been familiar with the channel, I've been talking about how so many of these candles, when it comes to Binance, are almost always to the penny or very, very close to it. That you could almost argue that the market is being moved specifically to the price points to capture liquidity, which is the most probable thing in my mind that is likely to be going on, right? And I don't think this is any exception moving to $42,000 like this, okay? And you can see here that we've actually failed to cross it according to Binance, okay? So according to Binance data, we've pushed up to a high of $41,913. Okay, obviously lower than the 42,030 cent wick, which would be our A wave low. Okay, so we want to cross that A wave to invalidate going down any lower with our C wave. Okay, pretty standard stuff. Not crossing this area effectively means that the 31,000 is still technically in play. Okay, now this is where things get interesting. Let me turn the volume off so it doesn't cloud our judgment anyway, and jump over into Bitstamp. Now, Bitstamp, obviously this is where I've been drawing out the 53535 move down into this low $28,000 range, maybe even $27,000, that kind of perspective. Obviously, this is just kind of an area that we would expect to kind of see a 1.618 if, of course, we were to breach this area, right? Because, again, we want to make sure that wave 4, which effectively is what we're in right now, does not cross wave 1. Now, this is incredibly messy, so I'm going to just tidy this up by hiding everything. And what we are going to be talking about specifically is this wick here being wave 1, this being wave 2, this being wave 3, this move that we're currently experiencing right now is wave 4. It should not and is not allowed to cross wave 1 over here. Okay, so what about Bitstamp? What makes this one so much more interesting than Binance? Well, if we actually come over to our candle here, this particular wick in fact, we go down to 41,000 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗡𝗪. That is significantly lower than what Binance is indicating. Now we can come across to our fourth wave just over here, and we can see that we've actually pushed up as high as 41,983, and that is higher than what we've experienced over here, and that would invalidate these 5 impulsive moves down. Now, this is entirely up to you guys as to which data source you want to believe in, which data source you think is likely to be the one that is providing you with the most accurate information. Here, obviously, this was now invalidated. This, according to Bitstamp and the USD, this here, this move is no longer valid. We cannot see this low come in on this wave count, okay? So these 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, that last 5, it isn't there anymore, okay? And I can now remove that 5 whole wave counts there. So we had 5 waves down, that's fine. We had 3 waves up, that's fine. We've had 5 waves down, that's fine. And now we are potentially on the cusp of a different move here, a potential breakout. Okay, now this doesn't mean that we're not going to be coming down. I still think that we are likely to see some form of correction. Let me just remove this one because I don't need that. Okay, so there's still some form of correction potentially still due here. We obviously have broken this descending trend line, and we can actually count this in lots of different ways, right? This is the most probable area of an ABC. So again, this bull flag taking us higher is perfectly fine. We have the consolidation here. Whether you call this a bull flag or not, this is a continuation pattern, and that's how it looks here. Okay, so we are trading sideways in continuation, or the continuation should appear afterwards of the trend that was beforehand. The trend was up, go sideways, the trend should continue going up afterwards. Okay, so whether it's a bull flag or just continuation, how are you going to kind of articulate it? There is another little step to the upside. After that, though, I do anticipate a pullback, okay? And again, we can count this in numerous different ways. If we actually take our Fibonacci retracement tool here, and we go ahead and measure our distance of our A wave here, and what we'll do is we'll grab that and we'll transpose it over on top of this double bottom here, okay, and we'll just leave it there. We would need to see this go up to $45,000. Going up to $45,000, this is no longer an ABC move, but instead is an impulsive break to the upside. And at that point there, we would expect, an ABC down that takes us into the lower ranges. That ABC down is not allowed to cross this A wave here or one wave. That would be 38,700. Okay, so as I said earlier, I still expect some kind of pullback between $37,000 and $38,500, and that to me seems to be the most probable area based on the Fibonacci retracement tools that we use. The 618, the 702, the 786, all the kind of usual stuff that we talk about. So those are still very much valid and in play, but it obviously will vary depending on how high it goes as to where that retracement actually ends up. So if we were to move up here, and we were to start to think about this entire move to the upside, where would those most likely be? Well, that would actually take you down right here, probably in that $39,500 range. So quite a significant pullback to be had from 45 down to that point there. But again, it would just be a nice healthy correction, not crossing wave one and then taking us up into a fifth wave. And if that is the case, and we were to go up into that range, which you can see here is also an area of support. Okay, so if we were to come up into that range and we were to see that through, this would then actually lead us up towards that $50,000 range, again taking out some of these additional areas. But there's a lot of resistance up here at 52k as well, so we would expect some volatility within the markets. What I am indicating to you guys though is that we've got a couple of different data sources that's showing us different information. One is showing us that the lows are still very valid, right? $31,000 potentially still on the cards if you believe Binance. If you, however, you take a look at the data on Bitstamp and you look at it from a USD pair perspective, you can see that actually those have been invalidated. And in fact, we should actually be looking more progressive to the upside than the downside. But of course, there would be some nice healthy corrections on that journey to the upside. Okay, so knowing all of these things, they can help us understand the market. They help us understand, what we might want to do with this information and act accordingly, right? So we take a look at the information and we think, okay, right now we are expecting a little bit of a push to the upside, but it's not going to be massive, and we can get into this in a moment just by coming into this data just here. And what we'll do is we'll expand this up for a sec. We have a move from the high point of wave 3 down to a low point of wave 4. And this again is a micro scale just on our hourly chart, but if we were to go ahead and take that, you know, the 1.618 is the minimum threshold. That would put it at 42K. The 2.618, that would be a $43,500 range. And if, of course, we go to the 3.618, that's $44,500, right? So the most probable area is probably going to be that 1.618, considering the momentum that we've had. But, you know, we are open to the idea that we actually take out a couple of these on that journey to the upside. But this would be basically taking that stochastic RSI, moving it up a little bit here, going up into the overbought area. And then from there, of course, when we start checking these higher timeframes, you can see that we're already overbought. We are overbought. So there's a high likely probability that we are going to see a nice healthy ABC correction afterwards, right? So, and for me, I'm kind of thinking we are more than likely just going to go up to this 1.618 area. And then from here, we are going to see an A, a B, and a C, hopefully taking us down in towards those lower ranges. And again, we're just kind of targeting out some of these key areas that we've seen previously. And if we actually take a retracement tool based on these measurements of up here, right? So we take our Fibonacci retracement tool and we go ahead and put that on this entire move, the entire 5 waves. So we grab that, we pull this down, and we pull it all the way down to the beginning here. Effectively, what we'd be looking for was probably find a bounce on the 618, or this that would actually be the 382. I've drawn it the right way around. I'll do it properly for you guys so it doesn't confuse. I tend to do things a little bit on the backward side of things, but if we do actually push it up to that range there, we'd have an ABC, potential A down to that 1.382, a bounce from there, maybe up to the 2.36, and then a continuation down in towards that 618 area. And again, this is the area that I'm talking about, you know, 38.5 down to about 37.5, the 786 and the 618. Okay, so that's kind of the retracement level that I'm kind of expecting here. Good strong push up, then corrective action down, and then continuation up afterwards. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at here. But I think, you know, with this kind of data that's a little bit haphazard, we don't necessarily know definitively what is actually going on in terms of the differences between the data sources of Binance and, of course, you know, Bitstamp. And there's probably a whole host of additional exchanges as well that are showing us some different data. This is now me presenting that information to you and for you to kind of act accordingly. Do you think that Binance data is correct, and do you want to kind of short the market or sell your positions and try to accumulate later? Of which I still think that is likely to happen in either scenario, that we are likely to be able to buy up a dip of some sort before things actually get, you know, pretty good kind of traction to the upside. Or do you think that, you know, actually Bitstamp has invalidated it and we're going to have a much bigger surge to the upside before a potential pullback? Two different exchanges kind of showing us different data. And, you know, for me right now, do I overly trust Binance with some of the other kind of numbers that I've been talking about in the past? Probably not. Can I say the same about, you know, Bitstamp? I haven't really actively looked into them in too much detail to know definitively whether or not there's similar kind of stuff going on there. But one thing is for certain, things are going to be very interesting in the next few days. As we open up into next week, we're going to start to see, I think, that last little push to the upside, and then a big kind of, well, I say big, a reasonable, healthy pullback. And that's the kind of point where I think I'm going to be accumulating. But let me know in the comments below, will you be accumulating during that dip that I'm kind of expecting and talking about and articulating in this video? If so, yeah, let me know what you're kind of interested in purchasing up in the comments down below. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell and you all won't miss another video. Guys, with all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.